Today we're doing the first set of notes on the radical chapter, which is talking about rational exponents and their roots. So on the top of your paper in your packet of notes, you're going to have this big, large table. Take a moment, just pause the video and copy these numbers down, and then hit resume once you are done copying. At this point, you should now have hit resume, and you are now right below this table. So it says use the table above to evaluate the following radicals. So if it, for example, in letter B where it says cube root, that means you shall be looking in the cube column. When it says cube root of 27, for example, your answer would be 3. So that's how you're going to answer those questions. The next property we're going to talk about is the two forms that we're going to focus on. So the right-hand side is our radical form, and the left-hand side is our exponential form. So you will frequently hear me say, which form are you in, and how do you convert it to the other form? This is what I'm referring to. The left side is exponential form because I literally have a base raised to an exponent. So that's your exponent right there. And the right side is called radical form because you literally have a radical. So for the first example, it says rewrite the fractional exponents as a radical and evaluate if possible. So I'm going to draw my radical. I'm going to put 64 under my radical. And based on the fact that if I have a fraction exponent, whatever's in the bottom of the fraction goes outside the radical, means 2 is going to go out here. You have been conditioned to write square roots your whole life. We just never write the 2. It's implied to be there. Now, can I take the square root of 64? Yes. So this will reduce or simplify to be 8. Done. Letter B, again, I'm going to draw my radical. I'll put 27. And because the bottom number is a 3, we're going to put the 3 out here. The way you pronounce this is the cube root of 27. You're going to go up to the top of your paper, find 27 in the cube list. That will result in the answer of a 3. Letters C and D, you will not be able to simplify. So there's my radical. I put my x. Because the 4 is in the bottom, this means this is a 4 right here. The way you will pronounce this is the 4th root of x. Letter D, I'll draw my radical. I have my y. Because there's a 5 there, we're going to write the 5 right here. The way we will pronounce this is the 5th root of y. You now have 4 practice problems to try. Take a moment, pause the video, and do those practice problems. So again, building. So at the paper, you're going to see more rules. So here we have another rule, and now you're going to notice the last 4 practice problems that you did and the 4 examples that we did, the top number was always 1. So now we're going to talk about what happens if it's not 1. Again, the right side of this is your radical form. The left side is the exponential form. So this side's your exponential, this side's your radical. The bottom number of the fraction still goes on the radical, so that is still going to be the same. The top number will go here. Sometimes you'll see parentheses and they put the number on the outside of the parenthesis. They all mean the same thing. As long as that number is on the outside, we're good to go. Or top, I should say. So for letter A, I have x to the 3/2 power. So I'm start by drawing my radical. I'll write my x. The bottom number of the fraction, which is 2, will go here. And the 3, which is up there, will go here. The way you will pronounce this is the square root of x cubed. Letter B, I draw my radical. I put my m. The bottom number, again, will go here. So the bottom number of 4 will go there. The top number of 3 will go up there. The way you will pronounce this is the 4th root of m cubed. C and D, I will be able to go further because my bases are numbers. So I start by drawing my radical with the 8. Because the 3 is in the bottom, it goes here. And the 5 will go here. The cube root of 8, so this is an instance where maybe it's easier to use the parentheses. If you go back a page in your notes and you find 8 in the cube root list, the cube root of 8 is 2. So this whole thing becomes 2. But now I'm left with 2 to the 5th power. 2 to the 5th power is 32. And that is our final answer. Letter D, again, same thing. I'll draw my radical. I put the 100. The 2 goes here, and the cube goes there. It's much easier to take the square root of 100 rather than raising 100 to the 3rd power. So the square root of 100 is equal to 10. But that whole quantity is still in parentheses. I need to raise it to the 3rd power. So the final answer is 1,000. That's all for today. You have several more practice problems. I think you have 3 different sets of example or practice to now try. A prompt will pop up on the Edpuzzle.